Hello, my name is Malcolm. I'm an astrologer here in Austin, Texas. This is video number 9. This is the final one. This is it. This is going to be the final analysis of Jimi Hendrix's chart. This is going to be the zodiac placement of the planets. We're going to look at that on the chart and that'll be it. If you want a copy of the chart that I'm using, ashstarcommand.net. Go to Spiritual Blogs, click that on the toolbar. Type in Astrology, click the magnifying glass, look for me and Jimi Hendrix, the word Jimi Hendrix, and you can find the chart that I use. Otherwise, the information is Jimi Hendrix, November 27th, 1942, 10:15 a.m. Pacific Western Time, Seattle, Washington. Okay, so let's go into the horoscope of Hendrix and look at the planet placements per zodiac. Okay, he has a sun in Sagittarius. Being a Sagittarius, he undoubtedly likes his freedom, and that's going to be a very, very important element to him. The freedom to do his own thing, his own what he likes to do in leisure time and so forth, and in professional life, is really pretty much very important to him. And the ability to do it without anyone looking over his shoulder telling him this is how you need to do it and so forth. That's Sagittarius. We come to the moon. The moon is in the house of the rulership. It's in the sign of Cancer. No doubt he was a very nurturing fellow, but a lot of people took advantage of that. He reportedly had a huge entourage wherever he went when he was famous, and so he liked to have lots of people with him at all times. And he also, many of them of course, were women. So he no doubt had a strong connection with women and knew how women thought and so forth. And he did pretty much use that to his advantage as far as the number of girlfriends that he had. And now we come to Mercury. Mercury is in the sign of Sagittarius. This is a sign of great curiosity. And with Mercury there in opposition with Uranus, there was a great curiosity as far as how radical I think his communication ability was going to be in terms of playing the guitar. And of course, over the years, he pretty much learned to tone it down, but not after he blew up a couple of amplifiers and so forth. Okay, next we come to Venus. Venus is also in the sign of Sagittarius. Venus in Sagittarius usually means that you have a lot of friends and of different walks of life and so forth. And that's definitely him. He liked having as many different people around him as possible for friends. And the big problem with that, of course, in relationship with, say, the moon and so forth, he was a little bit too generous and didn't know how to get rid of a lot of hanger-ons. Okay, then we come to Mars. Mars is in the sign of Scorpio. That's a night house rulership, co-rulership. The good thing about Mars with Scorpio is there's an incredible physical durability. People with that placement are tough, and whether it's sexually or physically, they're tough. The problem with Hendrix, though, was his rising sign was ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter wasn't well placed, and that's going to limit a lot of his physical activity, even with this placement. But it's, for the most part, in terms of sexuality, there's a real strong sexual drive with this placement, and it takes people a long, long time to get upset before they really go off. That's another aspect of that, and that pretty much was him, the way he was, from some descriptions I read. Okay, next we come to Jupiter. Jupiter's in the sign of Cancer. This is a good placement for Jupiter, and it's in the 8th house. With Jupiter in the sign of Cancer, this is the sign of someone that's usually very, very generous and someone who will, in their lifetime, take care of a lot of people and not mind doing it. He also, he didn't own a large house like some of the interpretations would say Jupiter in Cancer means you're going to have a big, big house. He didn't have a large house, but he was once stated as saying that he considered the earth to be his home. So I'm wondering if that's that. Okay, next we come to the planet Saturn. Saturn is in the sign of Gemini, and The problem with that placement is you have to learn there's a time when silence is golden and a time when it isn't. And undoubtedly he had a big problem with that because he loved to play music loud. And with Saturn and Gemini, that was instantly a sign saying turn it down or whatever. But I think, as again, with that combination with Venus, I think there's an artistic analyst going on with Mercury ruling that house especially, that was trying to teach him to be the very best he could be in terms of his particular craft, which is what the sixth house is about. And with Saturn there, it's analysis of that. Okay, next we come to Uranus. Uranus is in the fifth house, and with Uranus in the sign of Gemini, that's a good placement for Uranus. That's indicative that one would communicate very well in terms of any kind of artistic message with a group of people. It also indicates that if there's any kind of important political message as well, I've noticed people with that placement are very good at communicating it. So this is a sign placement that's very good for communicating to fellow members of your generation if you're working with groups of people, which is what he did. Then we come to Neptune. Neptune's in the sign of Libra. This particular generation will be known for trying to use art, spirituality, and the concept of harmony as an important kind of spiritual ideology, and hence the peace movement. And they also were known for use of drugs within their relationships, i.e. marijuana, LSD, etc. They were very big into relationships having an element of Neptunian drugs. But for the most part, they were very much into the idea of harmony with everyone as far as being the ultimate philosophy. And of course, their parents' generation disagreed with them on that in some retrospects. Finally, we come to Pluto. Pluto's in the sign of Leo. This particular generation will be known for their wanting to transform how to take care of other people in a broad way. It's more of, this is the way, because Leo's so strong in teaching and so forth, this is the generation that tried to say, we want to transform the way people are taught or what is being taught to people. And of course, again, the older generation definitely had something to say about that. And I think that's it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to go to astrocommand.net. I'm Malcolm Mundy. Enjoy.